Let's do it.
Bradley, what is Lucky Star all about in honor of Out of Touch Thursday?
Dude, Lucky Star it was one of Kyo Animation's first big hits, aside from Haruhi Suzumiya. It was a slice of life. And weirdly enough, it was like the first anime I actually watched all the way through, because it just like, I think sometime in like maybe 2007 or something, it just popped up in my YouTube recommended, and I was like, huh, what's that? I've never seen anything like that before.
What a formative experience for that to be your first.
Yeah, and then I think my second one I watched all the way through was Dragon Ball Z. So
okay, you got there eventually.
I was like, okay, that looks more like a thing.
That looks like more I should be watching.
I could probably talk about this one with the guys at school.
Yeah.
So that was good, but I don't know. That's what Out of Touch Thursday is all about.
I think it's more of like they just dance close enough to the beat and rhythm of that song.
The thing is, they don't really, not all the time.
Same.
But
I think that too.
It still works.
Just enough to keep you guessing.
Yeah.
Keeps me going.
I'm out of touch.
Yeah, the song.
We are recording this on a Thursday.
Yes,
we are.
if you haven't noticed.
Oh, we started?
Oh yeah, that's the intro segment. Welcome to Roundabout Cast 71. Better than us going, we're live, it's Roundabout Cast 71, and then Joe yells a random expletive.
I like that.
I want to make sure we are always demonetized on YouTube, so our fans can never think we're shills.
We are halfway to monetization period, so like we're not.
Yeah, we didn't even do like a 500 subscriber special, which is cool to us. Thank you for everybody who shows up.
Actually, I will say people have been leaving very nice comments here and there in old videos, new videos. You guys are very nice. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we have like a weirdly low number of hate comments for YouTube.
Yeah, like, I mean, let's not jinx it.
But then again, once we get the hate comments, we know we made it. Like that's
true. I do thirst for it. I'm also gonna I'm gonna read them, share them with you, and then delete them so we get the joy. But then your hate doesn't even get to be seen by anyone else. So
No. Leave us a secret. Let's come up with a safety word for like if you want to hate comment on us, but like be like, ooh, we love you though.
Okay. What's the safety word for trash talking us?
It needs to be something JoJo's, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Demolto. Make it Demolto.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like
Wonderful.
that too.
I was gonna say something else, but I forgot. Yeah. I have an idea for what our 500 special subscriber thing should be. We haven't done a tier list in a while.
Yeah.
My idea was, I guess I'll say it live. I want to recreate our anime list. Every slot filled in already, so it'll save us 4 hours right there. And we add whatever we've watched since, so it's like a update 3 years later. And then
what are we gonna do about Attack on Titan?
Well, we'll move stuff. The reason why we're gonna recreate the list is because then we can move stuff very quickly and be like, this is no longer an A, but this got better over time. And then the stuff we don't want to talk about, we just ignore. So save time.
True, fair. True.
That would be fun if you guys are down. But that's a story for
and
another
money.
Yes.
We have money?
Yeah.
Oh, also
not
an upcoming
podcast
one.
money, but
I expect a short. We're gonna do a short tier list coming up soon, and it's going to be a tier list based off the setup and teardown of board games.
What was I involved in?
Joe just got a huge boner right now.
Why wasn't I discussed?
Joe.
Tyler brought it up before you were there yesterday. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into our quote-unquote quick talks, free talks, fluid talks.
Yeah.
Let's start with... Bradley started our podcast off today, so we'll start with him, too.
Dude, I have been devoting so much time to Genshin 3.0. The new region Sumeru is crazy. Not only do I like the world design a whole lot, which I think I even talked about on one of our podcasts already.
Yeah.
Man, Tyler warned me the story for this region was going to be good. And it's not just like good for Genshin, like it's just good, period. If it was like, if you didn't have to go through everything else, like if they just packaged the story for this region into its own game, it could be a game of the year contender. Like I was blown away.
But unfortunately, it's in the middle of the Genshin expanded
Unfortunately,
universe.
it's
That's
narrated
the
by
thing. You
Paimon.
have to get to it, and that's what sucks about it. Like, I wish you could just do the regions in any order.
That'd be really
Bradley,
cool, man. That'd be
you-
really cool.
You found out what's wrong with long-term MMOs like this. Is like the good stuff is later, but you have to get through all the bad stuff at the
Well,
beginning to get to the good stuff.
To be fair, the beginning of
Yeah.
Genshin is not necessarily bad stuff because you can still not care about the story and enjoy the gameplay. As opposed to a certain other game that maybe I
Yeah.
could talk about later, where I also hate the gameplay. So at least Genshin's got that going for it.
Because, like, it sounds like for you, it's like Genshin. It's like you started out, and it's really, really fun at the start, but you kind of run out of stuff to do until you do the one story quest. And then you have a ton to do until you do the next story quest.
And Paimon's narrating all of it as you go.
I will say, I think catching up on Genshin might be one of the most impossible things ever.
Every
It's
day is
brutal.
more daunting.
You can't skip dialogue.
You-
ever.
You would actually have an easier time catching up to One Piece than catching up with Genshin.
Maybe, dude.
It's comparable. It's
Maybe.
comparable.
I only say that because I actually did it, so you know. And Bradley did too. Actually, all four of us did that. So, you know, we have 4 living people that can...
Dude,
I don't- I
myself
should not
every
be-
day that I started playing at launch and never stopped, because if I didn't, I
True.
would not be
Well,
caught
I
up.
I did stop.
There was a period of time where Bradley did, like, I mean, as close as stopping. What is
was
the
a day.
close?
It was a period of like maybe 2 months that I stopped entirely after the first anniversary.
Damn, I didn't know you stopped in time. I thought you still like had to get your dailies.
I was so pissed, man.
It also like burnout. Burnout happens to any long term investment
Yeah,
in
fair
anything
enough.
really. So you just need some time reflecting and kind
I
of
had to
recentering.
reflect on my actions.
Yeah.
Do you think Bradley could make it as a gacha streamer for Genshin?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, you know what?
No.
No.
No, okay, no.
No.
Okay,
No.
Tyler, hold on.
Yes and no.
He would use the money he gets to fuel the gacha streaming.
You don't understand that those guys start off with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's what $20,000 in
I
severance
sent Willer
is for.
this video of there's this Korean streamer. And Bradley, you've seen this video too. This guy just casually drops like $3,500 to get like
Jesus.
C6 Zhongli.
Yeah, that
And
it
then,
was
like-
fucked up, dude.
Like, it is
Ugh.
fucked up amounts of money.
That's
And
gross.
Genshin isn't even the main game he streams. He just did it as a side project.
But you know those guys are making a lot of donation bucks out of people like living vicariously through them. It's like a
He needs my money so he can fuel his addiction.
send him my energy. It actually is that like
I think it was Lily Pichu on the Garbage Cast or the Garbage Takes podcast.
trash,
She was like,
trash taste.
yeah, Trash Taste. Sorry, I'm actually bad. I'm not trying to be mean on Trash Taste. They were interviewing her, and she's like,
Takes.
doing voice acting for Genshin was like the worst thing I ever could have done because they paid me, and then I turned around and gave them their money right back.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And last time Bradley talked about like the harassment of that one voice actress too. So like that's a different
Yeah.
story.
Oh
but-
yeah.
Ooh, Genshin's a doozy. I'm on an off period, but you know how I am. I'll come back. Tyler did walk me into Sumeru, and I got to use the like hook shot, and I was like, hey, this is pretty fucking neat. And then I was like, well, back to Inazuma with the most linear, annoying storyline yet.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Sad.
Genshin. Bradley, tell me about your new book binding business.
Dude, yeah, so we want to try to make a bunch of books and like other crafts like stickers and magnets and shirts and prints and all kinds of things to sell at local farmer markets and shit. And so I finished a new dream journal today, and it looks awesome. It has suede on the spine of it.
Hey,
everyone's
Bradley,
everyone's
I want-
jealous.
I want to commission you to make a book prop that no one else has really done.
Okay.
I'll talk to you about it later, but I'll be your first commish.
Peace.
peace.
He wants the highest
He does
block.
high quality work. He gave me a little bit of taste. Now I gotta buy.
I know, right? Yeah, because you got my first one like that I ever really finished.
Yeah. So now I gotta get some.
That's such a good memento. It's like Bradley's first book. So cute.
I know, right?
Everyone can poop.
When Bradley becomes Amazon 2, you can sell it for $100 billion.
Wow.
Amazon too.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
You got any other rando things you want to talk about, Bradley? But not that the other thing?
Nah, dude, that's been it.
All right. Moving on. Joe, you got some stuff to talk about here.
Yeah. Oh, God. How do I want to tackle this?
Definitely, please.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think here. Okay. I'm going to start from, like, least the most, I think. Okay, so I rewatched Scrubs. I still love that TV show. I think it's one of the best. It gives me that warm, fuzzy feeling I get when I watch Good Place or Ted Lasso because it's very wholesome, but also very much feels like this is what it's like to go through a career. And, like, sometimes you have to, like, bad things happen to you and you have to, like, make up with it somehow. And sometimes you have to just move on. I think season 8 of Scrubs is one of my favorite seasons of television because it just wraps up like it. I think it's like really what that show needed as an ending, and I really appreciate it a lot. I used to watch it a lot.
It's hard for a comedy to be at its strongest at the very end, I feel.
Yeah, I feel that too. But like this, it felt like watching the end of that. It's just like all of these characters have grown up and they kind of realize what they want their life to be. And that's like a great ending to where we started, which is them just coming out of college and being interns and just like having to figure out like what is life as a doctor. And now they're at the point where like they are transferring what they have learned to new interns coming into the hospital.
I watched a video essay on Scrubs that is an hour long by the channel Jose, and I am now a Scrubs fan. My favorite character is Dr. Kelso.
Yeah, Dr. Kelso's so funny.
I could just say shit like that.
So next up, unrelated to Edgerunners, even though that did come out, I started playing Cyberpunk 2077 again on PlayStation 5. I did so because A, I got it for $5, and B, I knew my PlayStation 5 could handle it. I've really, really been enjoying the game like a lot. Like I've actually, yeah, it's wild. I've sat down. I'm like, oh, I'm having a good time. I'm just kind of vibing. I say that it's one of those things where like, it's, God, how do I? It's like a high fidelity school project almost, which is a very much a backhanded comment because it's like you walk around, you're like, wow, there's a lot here, but then you notice things that are just left in that were obviously left in and were supposed to be bigger, but they never were able to get to that or never fully develop it, but they are just relics of what could have been in the game. So it's just very interesting to see that. But like something finally clicked for me in the story because it has to deal a lot about like dying and like what it means to live forever and like making an impact on the world, which is a big point in Cyberpunk, but also like Cyberpunk is very much like a very dystopian, very bitter setting. But I've been enjoying it a lot more than my original run through for it, and part of that too, obviously, is just because like it actually runs. But it does work. I can play the game. However, I still get weird glitches. Like the first major boss, like I played against him and like it lasted for an hour because I was running with a build that does not work against him. I was like, fuck, I died. I guess I'll go through it again. 2 minutes into the fight, he glitches into a wall and I just sat there and shot him to death. And I was like, oh, God. Okay.
That is so unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Even though it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh God, like there's still those like big glitches that happen in the game. Like, it's hard for me to like recommend this to anybody. Like, I still don't think like if you were like, hey, I want to get this game, what do you think? I'd be like, I would not purchase it for more than
for $5.
Yeah, for $5. Fuck yeah, it was great. It's great. But I would not go more than like 20 at most right now for the game. But ironically, I'll probably pick up the DLC when it comes out on PlayStation 5. But like, I still think there's just a lot of issues with the game that leaves a lot to be desired. But that being said, I've really, really enjoyed it.
I watched a very long action button review on Cyberpunk, and the story and the characters actually seemed quite good, even in the initial releases. So
Yeah, and what's interesting was like I still don't like Cyberpunk's opening. It's like I think that's the biggest like showing of like we wanted to do more, but then we decided to cut it, but we didn't cut enough out to not make it noticeable. You know, if that makes sense. Because it's just like, oh, you have these 3 different choices of how you want your character to start out. Okay, that lasts for 5 minutes, and we go through a montage of you building this friendship with this guy. I'm like, I feel kind of robbed that I didn't get to experience the building with this character, you know? But everything after that has been great, story-wise in the main story. But Cyberpunk 2077, pretty good. I still wouldn't recommend it to like anyone here. But I've been really, really enjoying myself playing that game. And then finally, on my free talk list here, we've got so Immortal Empires came out for Total Warhammer 3. This is like the big feature that has everyone's been waiting for in the game. And what this feature is that it takes all of the content from the previous 2 games and merges them into Warhammer 3. So you can play with everything that you've purchased before, and you can now play it in the Warhammer 3 game, and it's phenomenal. It's so crazy, and it's working really, really well. They've done a really good job with it, and they have Creative Assembly is being very careful in its marketing of how to market this, because they're like, it's in a beta, and it's probably going to be into beta until the lifespan of the game is done, because I think they need to like really just like stop people from getting crazy about like why something isn't finished in the game, because even back in Warhammer 2, they were constantly evolving and updating that feature of the game every like cycle. Like it just was like something new was coming in for free for this feature, even if you did not buy the new DLC, which is I think is crazy great. But they really reinvigorated the game. They had a lot of customization to the game. Like, do you want an in-game event to happen? Do you not want an in-game event to happen? There's now like 5 different in-game problems you can potentially have to deal with. You can turn them all on if you want to. So it's awesome. It's really, really added so much to the game, and it like everyone's turned completely around in this game. People like were really not enjoying Warhammer 3 when it came out. Yeah, because like
sorry. You mean now they're enjoying it?
Yes. And like the part of that too is that people were just one Immortal Empires. But like it was very clearly at started like it's not going to come out with it because we need to release the base game first, and then we'll release this feature afterwards. They've always been clear on that, but people just get upset when they don't. Yes. And I think also is that people don't understand game dev cycles. They have to release a game, and they have to like get it out there and get going. And honestly, if they didn't release it back in February and they released it now with Immortal Empires, probably a lot of the issues that were in the February release would probably still be in the game today. So it's good that I got out so that people could be like, hey, we don't like this feature, we don't like how this works, so they can go in and fix it. I highly recommend picking up Warhammer 3, especially if Warhammer 2. That's a phenomenal series. It's like one of the best like strategy games that have ever come out in like the past like decade and a half.
Can I compensate and pick up Warhammer Darktide?
No, you cannot. Because they're 2 different universes. Number 1.
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I've really, really enjoyed that game, and I'm gonna put more hours into that game when I find time in between everything. It's still like a go to like I just want to kill 4 hours. I'll play Warhammer. So yeah, great game, great feature, love it. That's me on the free talk.
Okay. I mean, you don't want to talk about Jacob's Ladder or whatever that is?
That's me.
That's him.
Shit.
Yeah, that's not me.
I mean, I can, but that was like in my spooky section chunk.
Oh no, we'll move it to the spooky section chunk because I like.
No. I'll talk about it early. I was gonna talk about all the spooky stuff early.
I mean, I was gonna give you a spooky block middle because I saw that there was a block to be had.
I can do a spooky block middle.
Okay.
Spooky block middle sounds like.
But you talk about non-spooky block now, please.
Joe, I like that.
I watched Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There is a low-key, like, I thought I was crazy. So here's the thing. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is just as entertaining as the first one.
I agree.
It's genuinely just Jim Carrey in a room by himself, carrying a studio on its back.
Oh my god, Jim Carrey is so good in that movie.
Like, this is like Jim Carrey is like almost at his peak since Ace Ventura with this shit.
He
He is so good.
I'm pretty sure they're like, we want you to be as you as possible. It's like, I can do that. Like, and it's great.
Alrighty then.
Yes.
But there's a huge problem in this movie. There's a couple. First of all, this is just like a rant about the Hollywood industry and the fact that none of these Sonic the Hedgehog movies use the huge, ginormous Sonic the Hedgehog music library.
Yeah, you've been heated about this, but Tyler...
I am so fucking heated
this
about
is
this.
what I've always been talking... This is why I don't like any video game adaptation. Like, they just, like... They don't embrace where they come from, and that pisses me off.
Here is the most fucked up thing. In the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie, there is a band that did a cover of Green Hill Zone for the Sonic Mania game, which was made by other Sonic fans, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Licensed for Sega. All that good shit. It was the intro of the movie. It was A1 fucking plus. And then everything else becomes like this cheap blockbuster shit.
Yeah, and side note, movie scores in the average sense are quite lame and not very good.
It's like, here's the thing. I hate to be someone to shit on someone else's work.
Uh-oh.
The guy who does the score for Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the best generic Hollywood score creator in the business. He is the best at what he does.
Who is he?
He makes... I don't remember his name right now. He's some dude from...
Okay, I don't know if he can beat the Marvel guy. Marvel has some of the most generic, heroic shit I've ever heard.
This guy is better than the Marvel score.
Wow. Congratulations.
Like, he is amazing at what he does. I just wish he didn't make scores and they kind of hired just like some 9-year-old with an iPad to make a Spotify sound playlist.
Tom Hulkenberg. That's his name.
Yeah, sure. But that's what I wish they did with that movie, is like, just get some kid to pick the fucking music for the movie out of the Sonic.
Just some kid. Just spin a roulette wheel.
It's that easy. Like, I posted this video because there are forums about people going off about why there's no Sonic music in any of the Sonic, shit. And there's this one section in the new movie where Sonic runs on water.
Yeah. The
score starts off with these violins playing, and as soon as he takes off, it goes into this huge bit. And then somebody did a cover where they're like, y'all know the song His World from like Sonic Adventures 2 or something? Yeah. I don't know, Bradley, you know that one?
In His World.
Yeah. So like that song starts off with like huge violins playing, and then like goes into this big score as soon as he takes. It's so similar to like the music that's used in the movie. You could translate it 1-to-1, and it's just like, what? Like, this could have been easily done. Like, you could save so much money by not using this guy, and instead just using them. Like, I don't understand. There has to be some bureaucracy that I genuinely have no idea what's going on. That is the only thing I can chalk it up to. I cannot formulate anybody in Hollywood being this bad at their job. Like, I can't fathom that.
It's money. It's genuinely money.
No, it's not even that, dude.
They could save money.
Dude,
no,
the people making these movies don't really care about the source material. They're milking it for the IP. Some people on the team will care, and sometimes for example, hear me out. The guy who made the credits of Detective Pikachu, he was the guy who cared actually about Pokemon, because he made the credits like the biggest love letter to the original games in the Game Boy. Like, that's the thing.
It's crazy. Like, the people, like, they have Sonic snowboarding. They have all the, like, cool Robotnik robots. They have, like, the cool Robotnik final boss. They have, like, the temple zone, the water where he runs on top of the water.
Okay.
They do a segment in the movie where Sonic starts to drown and they don't play the Sonic drowning music.
What?
That's insane.
That's nuts.
Do you understand my fury?
Yeah,
of
no,
this stupid shit.
The thing is, we should talk a little bit about the Mario movie because that was like a big internet thing for a day. I think the Mario movie is gonna run into a similar issue where it's like, hey, visually, I think the artists are drawing a lot from the games, but like the writing and the music, I think will run into these roadblocks where it's like, well, it didn't do everything it could to be like the games.
I mean, we all heard like one line from Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
My only problem with the trailer, period, is Chris Pratt's voice. I wish there was better writing always, because everyone loves good writing. But at the same time, if the writing's not that great, I'm like, it's Mario. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But man, no, and like all the other voices, like Kamek's voice, the Penguin's voice, and like.
Yeah.
Jack Black as Bowser. Everyone knows it's good by now.
Did you know? I didn't know Toad was
Jordan Peele.
No,
Keegan
Peele.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Even that sounded good.
My thing with the trailer is like my biggest worry for the movie is that they wouldn't that they would do like weird stuff with Mario and Luigi and like just write them really poorly, like Illumination poorly, and. The trailer, while Bowser looked great, I think I'm excited for that direction. It didn't do anything to like make me feel hopeful about Mario and Luigi. In fact, I feel a little less hopeful because we got one line and it wasn't a good line from Mr. Pratt.
Yeah, he's like, what does he say? It's like
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah, he Mushroom Kingdom, here we come instead of Mushroom Kingdom, let's
go. Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
That's easy to do. Like,
that's terrible. It is though. Like, it's just like you had like they're fumbling the bag. They're fumbling the bag. Quite frank. I mean, in very minor ways. Like again, Jack Black. I like my Bowser like a mix of Goofy, and we didn't see that in the trailer. But I'm also not worried because if you're gonna get Jack Black to voice him, I'm confident that we'll get some.
I think that's
stuff.
like the one perfect casting in that entire thing, which is like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I would 100%.
Charlie Day Luigi has
Really
potential,
good.
But we don't know that yet. We don't know that for sure.
Yeah. I bet it's gonna be like a double plot where like Mario has to go do one thing, and he's like, all right, Luigi, you're gonna have to go take care of this, and he has to do like the haunted, spooky stuff, and like that's his whole thing.
That would be great. But they'll probably save that for the sequel, Luigi's.
It's literally in the tag of the fucking trailer.
It is actually. That's true.
He's running from Dry Bones. And he's
now, to be fair, every Mario game has like the one spooky world with
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's always boo houses.
Yeah. True.
So another thing, that's video game movies in a nutshell.
Yeah.
I rewatched South Park season 19.
So weird.
I bring up season 19 because it's 2015, so it's 7 years ago. You know that point where y'all are like, holy shit, like The Simpsons kind of predicted the future? Jesus Christ, like, if you rewatch season 19 of South Park, I know South Park's always contemporary and relevant, but man, did they just scarily hit the nail on the head in more ways than I realized back then.
I'm gonna need a couple examples here.
Well, a lot of it is about being PC culture, everything. Like, I'll start off with that because that's the year. This is the year we get PC Principal, and then like they talk about like the Stunning and Brave, like Kyle has to admit that he likes Caitlyn Jenner, even though Caitlyn Jenner killed a bunch of people by running them over in their car. And like he has to admit that they're stunning and brave, like despite what he even thinks at all. Like in his own personal bubble, he just like, yeah, she can be a woman, but I don't think she's stunning or brave. And they're like,
how dare you?
Like they beat the shit out of him and put him in the hospital. So it just kind of stems into like, this is when Mr. Garrison starts to become Donald Trump in this season.
I didn't think I was gonna hear that.
What do you mean by that?
Like, does he physically become?
Yeah. Like, does he morph?
No. He physically becomes Donald Trump Garrison.
What?
He is
What does
crazy
that
mad.
mean, though?
let me go on to this. He is mad about all the illegal immigrants coming into South Park, which are the Canadians, because the actual Donald Trump was voted to be the new Prime Minister of Canada. So everybody fled Canada because it became a riot-filled shithole. Canada built a border to the country south of them, which to keep people out, and nobody wanted to go to it.
This is wild.
But Mr. Garrison does want to go to it, and he goes and fucks the Prime Minister of Canada to death.
Donald Trump?
Yeah. Like, after that, he starts to run for president based off of his like, he doesn't want to learn Canadian. He's just being blatantly racist.
Now, Tyler, when you said that he physically becomes him, I'm starting to think that you said the word physically wrong.
He gets a wig, and he gets, like, all of his face spray painted orange.
Okay.
He later does actually become president of the next 4 seasons of South Park, and is just a caricature of Donald Trump. But that's not even it. Like, we talk about the gentrification. That's, like, everything, and it's, like, how, like, everything from child labor forces and, like, people not being paid appropriate wages in gentrified areas is on it. And people can't, like, afford to live in these gentrified areas, even though they were already living there.
Thank you for listening to the Joe Rogan podcast.
It's the experience. The thing is, Tyler, I think these things were already prominent in those years. We just weren't actual ass adults yet, so we didn't have to like actually think about them yet.
I was a high schooler. Like, shit.
Like
2015? I don't know about that, but...
Oh, yeah, never mind.
It's 2015, but it's like, and that's even one of the jokes in the show. It's like, it's 2015, get over it. We're PC now. But it's just like, the final bits of it, they get into this trilogy at the end of it, where they're fighting against the ad space. And people are ads now. And there's like, only Jimmy Ballmer can tell the difference between sponsored content and an ad in genuine news. And that right there hit me on an existential level when I uninstalled Instagram this year, because I realized no matter what people are posting on social media, they are like, humans are just walking advertisements now, because you get companies that reach out to your friend who's a mom on Instagram, and she like posts about her exercising, so they send her marketing shit, and now she's an advertisement for all this other shit that she's so good about in life. And it's just like,
I've seen viral tweets get followed up by like here's a vibrator you can buy. That's always funny.
It hit me at an existential level that I just wasn't ready for, because it's stuff I've been reflecting a lot about lately that I just was not ready to be told that 7 years ago you should have been paying more attention.
Tyler, just relax. Drink a Coca-Cola Zero from the Coca-Cola Corporation with zero sugar. It's a healthier alternative. Well, there you go. There's your ad.
That's advertisement working. Trying to change it.
So that's that. Yeah. Willard, talk to us about your addiction to Survivor.
Overlord can go in anime block. Yes. Okay. I will talk about my Survivor addiction. There's nothing really wrong with me. I just watched
How many did you watch?
12 seasons of Survivor.
I thought you were on like 3 seasons.
No, one's been going ham.
Okay, but I think maybe 3 of those seasons were before last podcast, so I only did 9 in between between a podcast.
Yeah.
The thing is with Survivor, it is so easy to just let it run. Like, it's fantastic.
It's very formulaic. Like, like, we gotta have the post last episode discussion from the team that lost.
Yeah.
You go back to the other 2 tribes, see what they're cooking up. You get the what's it called? The activity, whatever event they're doing that day.
Which will usually lead to a reward. The rewards are always sweet, but I've seen every reward possible by now.
Yeah. You get some sort of reward montage that's publicly sponsored by Chili's.
Outback Steakhouse. You get...
No, there was Chili's on last season. Last season was Chili's.
Shit, I'm not there yet. No spoilers.
And then you go into the discussion of the losing tribe and who they're gonna vote off, but never a clear picture.
This is the sweet spot right here.
Yeah.
This is where the magic happens.
This is where you sit down, like it's the meme of the guy with like rubbing his hands coming around the corner.
Yeah.
And then you get to the final like the
immunity
voting.
challenge, and then you get the voting. But here's the thing: this show, some of these seasons are genuine peak fiction. Like you can't make stuff better than some of these blindsides, some of these strategies they're pulling out. My favorite season so far has been season 31. This was a season with returning cast members, and because I was in a deep binge, I watched season 16 and then 20, and then from 20, I watched all of them onward except for one that I skipped because it seemed really boring. That aside, like I'm currently on 32, but 31 had like everyone was a returning member, and they played so fucking hard. Like every week was a new like first for Survivor. I knew like half the cast from the seasons I had watched, so that was pretty fun. The person I wanted to win won, so that's always nice. But like, it's just like the tension gets genuinely high when they get to these voting segments, and you see like I want to shout out the editing, because the editing will create a storyline for a character or a person, rather, they're a human being, as I guess, throughout the season, and you get to see like the consequence of those actions, and like there's genuine storytelling done by the editing team, and it's really great. And the host Jeff, I think, does a really good job at tossing questions around and like stirring the pot in a really fun way. Like I think he's a very good host, actually, even though he's memed to death.
Yeah, he does a great job. You say stirring the pot, like he knows, like, oh, like drama's starting to kick up here. I need to like kick it in a way that's gonna really get people going, but not enough that like almost antagonistic, but like enough to like really get people to speak.
That's the key. He never goes too far. He's not like, so I heard you guys are gonna vote X out. He asks questions to organically like derive these kinds of like conversations between the tribes.
There was in the merger from last season that like the group was coming in, and what was special about this merger is that the merge was cut in half and they had to vote 2 people off.
Ooh, that's good.
So one group went beforehand and the other group went afterwards. So the second group had a plan of who they were going to vote off. It was very, very clear. But then when they walked in, they noticed that someone had been voted off in the first group, and they went, "Oh fuck, we can't do any of that now."
Oh, that's delicious.
Like, it caused like this. Yeah.
They make these like small twists that never feel unfair. Like it's got to be by far the most fair survival show, or like reality show I've seen. Rather, like it's not like for example, I also watched The Circle because it's just such good trash, right? It's like The Circle's like eating a greasy hamburger, where it's like some of these twists are just genuinely unfair to the people they're twisting. That's not really the case in Survivor as much. Like, some people can find immunity idols easier than others, but they also went out and searched for them harder than the rest. So you got to keep that in mind. Anyways, I'm going to apply to be in Survivor. I could totally win. And that's not even a joke. I'm going to apply one day because it seems fun as fuck.
I think one thing also that I really like about Survivor is that they do have these prizes that happen whenever you like during these competitions, but they're never stuff you take home or you would want to take home. It's always like just to survive on set, basically.
There's stuff to like, a lot of the time it's just like to mentally replenish you and like give you a good meal, and that's like, that is the best reward someone can get in that situation.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's like, it kind of sucks, but like also I think it's what keeps the show in like a very much like it keeps the show somewhat grounded, because if like every other thing was like, oh, if you win, someone on your team can get a whole new car when they leave.
Woo!
And like,
that would be not cool.
Yeah, it'd be really weird.
Because then in like the postseason reunions, it's like, so Jessica, how's the new car? It's like, I don't give a shit.
Oh, dude, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, exactly.
So we watched, my family and I used to watch a lot of reality TV when I was little, and we watched the season Survivor, and I cannot remember what season it is, but there was a season where like one of the rewards was that they would actually fly you So Survivor also used to go to different locations. Now they go in the same spot all the time. So one of the rewards for the Survivor was that one person, this was in the merger, got to go to the nearby tourism town and got to meet up with a part of their family and just got to talk to them for a day, basically. And so one of the guys lied that his mother had terminal cancer and really wanted to speak with her. And so
I know this guy because he showed up in season 16.
Yeah,
they talked about him. He's such a scumbag.
Yeah.
It's like Johnny something, Bobby something.
Yeah. I was just like, what the fuck?
Anywho, if you have Hulu, just put Survivor season 16. Go from there. It's a great time. Put it in the background. It's so fun.
Yeah.
Y'all. So I've been reading manga as usual. I've been good at keeping like this schedule where like I will read a series and catch up 2 or 3 chapters every once in a while. I was talking about that manga, Super Smartphone, and like how I liked it, but it wasn't doing so well. It's gonna get canceled probably. Like I think the last chapter is this week. But the real tragedy and like I could tell was gonna get canceled 2 chapters ago when the writing took a severe nosedive instantly. Like,
what happened?
You could see like a night and day shift of pacing and like I don't even like the author just went like I don't have time to do any mind games anymore. Like it's a series about like mind games, knowing how to search for stuff, like being creative about how you search for things. Like it's that kind of story, and it's just suddenly like the main character just made allies. Like he introduced all these other super smartphone users. It's like, oh, the final arc at the very least can be a battle royale. Everyone's gonna participate, do something cool. The main character just made allies within that group of like 12 players, and then the very next chapter, it's like, okay, we're gonna go talk to the policewoman that we haven't shown our face to yet. We're going to challenge the main villain to a fight. Like, it just sped forward, skipped everything that it was setting up, like, very clearly. All these characters they introduced are clearly not going to do anything. And they also introduced these 2, like, alien AI that are observing Earth. And I'm like, oh, I guess this was the end game, is that these phones were dropped by these, like, aliens observing Earth, like, kind of Worm style, or, like, many other series. But we just, like, skipped right to it. And I think every series that gets canceled has to kind of go through something like that. It's just super painful to see like the author writing at a level that you know they're better than for the most part. So that's a bummer. And then Chainsaw Man anime came out, but I do want to talk about, I caught up to part 2. I'm looking forward very much for when we talk about Chainsaw Man again officially. Because part 2 is going some wild directions right now.
Fujimoto is on some fucking shit, man. Like, it's crazy. Like,
Tyler, have you caught up to Chainsaw?
I have only read a few chapters past the break.
Yeah,
okay.
The one thing I want to mention is that like Chainsaw Man doesn't even show up in his own fucking manga anymore. Like,
yeah, I do be like that.
It's like, whoa, and like it's stitle working, which is the crazy part.
It's become a superhero story. But in a really good way. But it is doing that thing where like, okay, the character is going to do this, and your question is why, and it's like, don't worry about it. It's Chainsaw Man. We're moving. Like, the build up is very fast for things in Chainsaw Man. I think that's something that exists in a lot of modern manga. I see it sometimes in Jujutsu. I see it in Demon Slayer. I think we live in an era of like very fast setup,
and payoff,
and a big payoff manga.
Yeah.
But the anime was really good. I liked episode 1. Did anyone else watch this?
I watched episode 1. I thought it was good.
Not yet.
I do have to say the CGI not very good. Not the best. Not the worst. It's not Berserk or anywhere close to that level.
It's not entirely CGI.
Yeah, it's just the action scenes, which is what you were hoping to see animated.
Yes, just the good parts.
Just the things that you were most excited for. No big deal.
Yeah.
But I will say, I do hope that the anime takes its time a little bit and fixes that problem with Chainsaw Man that I just brought up, where like we can maybe live in the moment just a little bit more. But at the same time, it's like, I like how it's a fast-paced series, even if, like, it makes it so I don't get as attached to the characters or their decisions, but also, like, it's part of the vibe. So I guess we'll see how it plays out.
I cannot wait till we get to the part where they go into that fucking other dimension, whatever. They're fighting, like, this Omega demon, and there's the astronaut grave shit.
Astronaut grave is what got me to read the series.
That's, God, what
a visual.
Is probably Fujimoto, one of the best new mangakas out there right now. I think.
I was going through the picture. I take pictures of manga I'm reading so I can like scroll through them in the future and be like, oh, I remember that. And in that section, Joe, there's this part where like everyone's arms get chopped off.
Yes.
And it spells Makima in the air. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh my god, does it really?
Yeah, it
Holy
does.
shit.
With the arms. So good. Anywho, looking forward to either a doubling down of simpage or a gross like revulsion by the anime fan base as they realize who they've been simping for.
Oh, you know it's gonna be a double down.
I really like. I mean, we're not gonna get that in the first season, are we?
We're 4 years. We're like 3 or 4 years from that.
Yeah, that's not coming until like later.
Yeah, like season 3, 4 at least.
Okay. This season's gonna end with the bomb demon,
which is great.
Y'all, okay, here's the fun thing. I'm rewatching Chainsaw Man. It's gonna be me experiencing it again for the first time.
Yeah, no, you read it so fast, and like I said, like shit just goes, so it's very easy to forget stuff.
I read it very fast, middle of depression, easy in, easy out.
Yes.
All right, Tyler, do you said the year 2022 is very good for anime, and you gotta tell me why.
Holy fuck. Y'all, I was not prepared for this year. Like, I've just been kind of cruising at this pace of like, oh shit, I got a lot of stuff to watch this year. It all kind of just hit me this past week. Holy shit. If you're not watching anime this year, you should be. This year's a good year for anime watching.
I don't know, man. What should I watch?
Shit. So, here's my list I just compiled of everything I've seen or like am going to watch so far. So this year, I'll start with some of the big ones like Chainsaw Man, Spy Family. Those are two really big ones this year. Two big continuations we got this year are Overlord Season 4, which is already over. The reason why this one's over so quick is because they're catching up to the light novels very fast.
Ooh.
However, this season was big. We got some cool teaser stuff and some cool lore stuff for the rest of the world. We finally met some like other player character content, which is kind of like another person who got isekai'd into this world, maybe, which is what we've been waiting for. Basically like big overarching villain type shit. And then we've also got Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 4, which is the fastest anime adaptation of any light novelization series so far.
Nice.
Their like pacing is ridiculous. They're on break right now for their part 1 and part 2 of season 4 because their seasons are over 20 episodes long. Shit's good. I was talking with one of our friends about it, and there is way more Greek mythology in this show than I even realized. Because that's what the entire show is based all about. Surprisingly, Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon is not a harem. It's a Greek mythology anime. Fun facts.
Those aren't like particularly good in that category either, I'd say, but
I mean, we only have Record of Ragnarok to really go off of, so
yeah.
This one's a lot better.
I mean, Greek history and its relationship with dating, if you will, is not super good.
Nobody dates in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people just kind of die a lot.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Is It Wrong to Try and Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Great action sequences, very well animated for a show that's gone on so long. Forgot to mention, Overlord is done by, I think it is Studio Trigger.
What?
Yeah.
What?
What? Overlord?
I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
I'm doing it right now. I do not think is done by Studio Trigger. That's crazy to me if it is.
It's just like, how did that
It's
fly
done
under
by
my radar?
Madhouse.
Madhouse, sorry. Another big one.
No, Madhouse. I very much like Hunter x Hunter's anime. So
Yes, it is good quality.
Hunter x Hunter's coming back, y'all. On that quick note, holy shit.
Yeah. We even get a Hunter x Hunter OV this year.
Yeah.
Let me just go on this list. I'm gonna just name the rest of them. We got Mob Psycho 3, My Hero 6, Ranking of Kings, new sports anime, Blue Lock, My Dress Up Darling, Reincarnated as a Sword, Strongest Sage with the Weakest Crest, Golden Kamuy Season 4, New Mobile Suit Gundam, Yawamashi Pedal Season 5, which I was like, I just found out this sports anime exists, and they're on a 5th season this year? Holy shit. Uncle from Another World.
Tyler, we should watch Uncle from Another World. That is the one isekai I'll watch with you.
It's on my list.
That sounds super fun.
Yeah.
Like,
It's about an uncle who's been isekai'd for the last 15 years and comes back to the regular world.
I hear he comes back and he's like, "What happened to Sega? Where's the Sega arcades?"
We're getting
buddy.
There's an Odd Taxi movie that happened this year. Dragon Ball Super movie. Dr. Stone movie. AOT Season 4 Part 2 happened this year. Maybe Part 3. Probably not. We've been getting JoJo Stone Ocean this year.
Oh shit!
oh yeah, that's right.
Agretsuko Season 5 is this year. We got
Wait,
Edgerunners.
What? Stop! Agretsuko's on Season 5?
It's going to have a Season 5?
I didn't know it was past Season 2. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, it's way past that, dude. There's a whole storyline.
My god. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Go.
Yeah. We got Edgerunners this year. Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2. Anime
That's
that hasn't had a new season in like 9 years. Shit's crazy. They just suddenly drop it out of nowhere. Then we got a new Sword Art movie this year. Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime movie this year. And that's like maybe 2/3 because I can't watch every anime in existence.
Yeah. Nor should you, because I think that's genuinely brain rot.
Like, I have been rotting my brain this year because some of these are iffy to watch.
Also, fun fact, Madhouse also does kaiji, so they get an A+ in my book.
Oh man, I wish they would do more kaiji, because holy fuck. I haven't read Part 3 of kaiji all the way, but I really like what I've read so far. I should get back on kaiji on that note.
So that being said, there is a lot of good stuff to watch this year. I know there's anime fans who have watched even more than I have. There's some stuff on here that I'm not going to name because there's some sussy content that's come out this year that some people do enjoy.
On that note, why don't you tell us about My Dress Up Darling?
Oh, fuck. I don't want to... I read all 80 chapters of My Dress Up Darling in like 3 days. And then I started watching it. This show's really good.
Wow.
The story's really good.
What? Okay. Well, how trashy is this? Because I heard this was very trashy.
It's not that trashy.
Okay.
Like, what define your level of trashiness?
Is it more trashy or less trashy than like Hokkaido Gals?
More like what level of trash are you talking? Like lewd?
Yeah, like just being like degenerate weeb shit. You know,
Just,
like
it's high on the scale of degenerate weeb shit.
Okay. Then what are we talking about here?
So like here's like it's contextual, like it's weird context because it's like it's an anime or manga about the world of cosplay, which is the weebiest you can get, but it's like a very wholesome-ish take on it. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever met cosplayers or ever done cosplay yourself.
Yes.
It is like, it is just fun for people to do. It's a cool hobby, especially people like are making their own crafts and everything. I thought y'all have maybe known more about this than I have.
No, I've just seen this fucking girl everywhere.
Oh yeah, I see fan art of it everywhere.
You see her everywhere. Yeah. But
is this a good Bradley show?
So
I feel like it might be.
This is top tier Bradley. Like I'm surprised you haven't watched it yet. I recommended it to one of our friends who she's like trying to get into anime, but she's artsy and craftsy, and she can't get into stuff yet. So I sent it to her. I'm like, you would love this. Your boyfriend will hate it. Don't watch it. Make him watch it with you.
You recommend her the wrongest things.
The worst stuff.
I thought My Dress Up Darling would be good.
I don't know if she's gotten to that yet, but
anyway, So the show's the main character, or it's about a guy. He works with his grandpa making like those Japanese like Hina dolls. Um, like he works at his grandpa's shop doing that, and like he wants to grow up to do that. So it's like a very artistically focused like passion that he has. Very obscure, and it's very weird. And like the guy gets bullied when he's younger as a kid. He's like, "Why are you're a guy? Like you shouldn't like making dolls." But it's like what his grandpa does. So it's like he loves his grandpa. He doesn't have any parents, so like he lives with his grandpa, and like he follows his grandpa's passion. But he's been ostracized and like felt insecure about it because this one girl that bullied him when he was little. So the girl that you see everywhere, he has to go to the sewing shop at school to fix something, because his at home breaks. And so he's in the sewing room, and like they run into each other for like the second time. The first time was like cleaning up after class, and like they have a short conversation. It's not like mind blowing, but then they meet up again, and she's like, "Wait, you can sew?" And then she shows her like something she tried to make as a cosplay. And they start to like form this friendship over like making clothes, because he makes clothes for the Hina dolls too. So like something happens, obviously, like context,
Of
and
course.
then he's going to make an outfit for her, like context, or exposition, and then he's gonna make a cosplay outfit for her. But out of this cosplay outfit, he really starts to like really enjoy the process of making these clothes, because it's similar to what he does like with his grandpa, and using this girl as a canvas in a really weird way that sounds, yes.
Yeah.
He starts to get better at his own craft that he's like passionate about. Like she's passionate about cosplaying, and he's passionate about doing dolls and stuff, and like that art aspect. So it's like he's really good at using this girl as a canvas.
Please
so
stop
it's like
saying that.
yeah. He's really good at Jackson Pollocking her.
No.
Which is actually a moment in the show where it's like he sees her and like he sees like a glimpse of her underwear under her skirt.
Oh.
And then she's like, "Why are you It's like, I haven't heard from you in like a day," and it just shows like a cutaway panel to like him locked up in his room under his little like futon, and it's like, yeah, there's a reason for that. It doesn't. But here's the cool thing that I like about it. I guess it's like they have a wholesome relationship about people wanting to be themselves and not bullying other people based off of what they like to do. I think that's a very wholesome take of like the weeby or nerdy people who like to cosplay. We like anime, manga, stuff like that. It's like, just enjoy what you like. Like, who gives a fuck? And as long as you're not hurting anybody else, you're making somebody else's life better in some way. And it's not a harem either. Like, it's like there are a lot of other characters, both guys and girls, that these people are friends with, but it mainly revolves around the main guy and the main girl. And she has a mad crush on him, and he thinks she's hot, but like, you know, they're just in high school and have never dated people, so they're like, how do we admit feelings?
It's just like, hey, that's all cute, but like,
Yeah,
there's that like underlying like, yeah, use girls as canvas, you nerdy boys. Like, like it just feels
like
it feels a little grody.
I hate it when you portray it like that, because I
mean,
like
I
to
don't
portray.
Context, you know, context.
Yeah, like he does. Like the girl shaves off her eyebrows, and then he has to paint her eyebrows on, which is something cosplayers do.
That's
like,
cute.
That is a thing. And then he goes back and like his grandpa is checking his work, and he's like, "Hey, your eyebrow lines have gotten smoother. Like you're improving." And like the kid was like paranoid because he's like, "I haven't picked up my brushes in like a week. Like I'm gonna be ass at this." And it's like the grandpa's like, "No, you're getting better by having more life experiences. You should be doing this. You're young." You know.
Yes.
So it's wholesome in that aspect.
That's nice. Now, Tyler, are you gonna keep up with this weekly or monthly or whatever?
I got to no, because it's fucking monthly. Mad respect to the manga artist. She's great. The content is good. But it takes her a month to do it. I don't have time for that. I have read it. I'm going to set it and forget it. I'll finish watching the anime, and then it's gonna be one of those things that I never think about again unless it comes back up.
Cool. Tyler caught up with me and Joe's one of our favorite ongoing manga, Dandadan.
Ooh, Ichi!
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. What? Y'all, oh my god.
Hey man, fuck you. First and foremost, I don't think I'd like this, Wheeler. What do you mean there's stuff for me here? I know what it's about. Get that shit out of here. I knew you'd like it.
Oh yeah, I do that just to fuck with you most of the time.
Yeah, screw you, man.
Oh man, I feel like I've been talking a lot. There's so much to talk about.
We're not going to talk very much about this because you should join us on our next Dandadan talk if you want to talk about it.
Yeah. I just got up on Dandadan. I showed my girlfriend 5 chapters, and she saw the girl's clothes getting ripped off, and then she read it all in one night. So,
wow,
that's how she be.
This and the fact that My Dress Up Darling are written by women really goes to show you that women are the actual smut, horny ones.
Like Dandadan is written by a woman. I didn't know that.
No, My Dress Up Darling is.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Wait, is Dandadan not?
I thought that's what you just said.
No,
yeah, that is what you just said.
No, I said My Dress Up Darling is written by a woman.
Oh, but
your statement didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
okay, hold on, back it up. Kelly horny about the clothes getting ripped off.
Okay.
And also, yes. Anyways, none of this matters.
Got it.
Okay, now I understand.
It's good, right?
Yeah, Dandadan's good. It has.
So funny.
It's interesting though because I compare it to Mob Psycho a lot.
Yeah, I haven't watched Mob yet, but I could totally see it.
Mm-hmm. It's very like they have similar thematics around psychic powers and spirits and stuff. But I would say they're too vast. Like that is the only common theme. Mm-hmm. Because Mob is still going to be a one and Murata manga. So it focuses around that like power fantasy where Dandadan is more about that slice of life weirdness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see both of those in that same type of thematic universe.
Isn't it crazy that it's a weekly series and the art is that ridiculous?
Yeah,
yeah.
That's what me and Joe always come back to. Like that's nuts.
Like I have high expectations for manga artists, which is why it's like, oh, you're not gonna read this monthly manga? I'm like, nope, I'm out. I forgot it. I'm going to forget it.
Tyler, that's mean. Like these weekly artists are killing themselves, and you're out here. Oh, don't be monthly.
They're bleeding themselves.
No. Here's the thing.
Feeding them back the blood.
Yeah.
I can do bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, I think, is what every manga should be, except for One Piece for my own selfish gains.
I can do bi-weekly. No problem. Monthly, I'm like, you got another job you got to do. I get that. Probably like a full-time job.
No,
understandable.
I think I think they just do it monthly so they can have a life, like so they can sleep. Like
that's selfish.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this is the part where we all turn to Bradley with the evilest smiles and go, "Hey, Bradley, you would really like this series."
Yeah.
I think I would though.
I think you would like the romance and the comedy. We had like the comedy in the series is fucking great.
This will be a hilarious anime adaptation.
Oh,
dude, when this becomes an anime, it'll take the torch that Chainsaw Man just took from JoJo's as the next era of annoying anime fan.
Yes.
So,
oh my god,
look for that. Maybe they can run together.
Oh no, Chainsaw Man's gonna still like have those very long time because of Makima, which is the frustrating part.
That's true.
Makima's a good character because she's fucking awful or whatever.
We'll keep this anime block going with So you guys were about to get lucky. We were about to have a podcast where I had nothing really to talk about as my own thing. And then y'all delayed the podcast by 2 days, and that was a grave mistake.
Not my fault.
Ceviche looking ass.
Bradley watched an entire anime season in less than a week.
Bradley, you could talk a little bit about how Ceviche almost took you out. And it had hands, but you had bigger hands.
Dude, it was disgusting. Dude, Amy was throwing up all night, too.
I'm glad you guys are feeling better.
You think it was the shrimp, but it was delicious though.
In the moment, it
it.
slapped. Yeah.
Dude, I love seafood. I would never cook seafood because I am so afraid that I'm going to fuck it up and kill myself.
Yeah, I don't know how much I trust myself.
I'll cook a fish. I mean, fish is pretty error proof because you see it.
I think like seafood is one of those things where like at least with chicken you'll eat it and then you'll just die in your sleep.
What the fuck? That's awful.
Yeah, but if you fuck up seafood, you are going down like fucking in flames. It's going to just make you suffer.
You're going down, you're yelling timber.
Yeah.
But so I watched all of Odd Taxi in about 3 days. This is easily the best anime I've seen in years. Now keep in mind I don't watch that much anime. I think this is phenomenal. It is so good. It is 13 episodes. It is a story of... It's a taxi driver in a mystery crime plot. And a lot of the episodes are the taxi driver driving people, talking to people. You meet a lot of characters, and then you start jumping into what's going on in their lives. And everyone's a cute animal in this. The music's great. All the character designs are cute as shit. The main character is a walrus. It has really good twists. It is definitely a series that you should watch and try to pay as much attention as you can because it has a lot of plot threads and it resolves them all. But like it goes really wide and then...
Did Sidewatcher Willard just tell me to pay attention?
Well, Sidewatcher Willard, well, I paid attention a lot, yeah, because you can only sidewatch so much when something is this plot heavy. Like a lot of people guessed one of the big a lot of the big twists are guessable if you pay attention, but that doesn't make them any worse because the execution of their reveals are always so good. I'd like to highlight episode 4 and 11 that are basically backstory episodes for 2 particular characters in the show. For specifics, when I was like, okay, this show is actually incredible, and I think you could actually watch this episode completely standalone if you want just like a taste of the show and don't want to start from the beginning for some reason. It's an episode of a programmer gotcha addict that goes really deep in that gotcha hole. And
it's about me.
I'm not going to name names, but I know some people. But Bradley, the difference is he goes so deep that things start going really bad for this guy, and you can still...
It's about me.
No, you can still be saved, Bradley. Trust me, you're not there yet. You're not that low yet. It's great. Like, I think every one of you would like it. I think everyone actually would like it, because it plays like a American drama in a lot of ways, or like a J-drama or something. It plays like a live-action show, not an anime, even though all the characters are little cute animals.
Cool.
And I will say, like... I know everyone here hates Beastars or whatever, but Beastars is using Beastars is using the fact that they're animals like to a purpose, as far as I understand it.
Furry bait.
Well, also the characters have animalistic traits, whatever.
Yeah.
In this show, I also think the animals are used for a very good purpose, as is revealed, as becomes more obvious as you learn more about the characters and get closer to the end.
Did I ever say that I watched Beastars season 2? I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
You shouldn't have.
And it's far too late now.
I know. I actually somewhat did not hate it. That's about it. But
look, Beastars is written by the daughter of Grappler Baki, and contrary to Tyler's belief, she probably wrote the better series.
No. Oh yeah, by the way, Baki Hanma, I think, came... Oh, no, Baki Hanma was out at the end of 2021, I think.
Yeah, if y'all did... Also, the opening of the show slaps, so if you didn't see that when I posted it, you should go watch it, because it's really good. Everyone go watch Odd Taxi. We're going to skip one thing and do it later. Joe, why don't you tell me about X-Men?
So, a little backstory to this.
What are these X-Men?
They are men of X's. They are just nothing but giant X's. Yeah, so the Mutant Genesis box for Marvel Champions came out 2 weeks ago. which is X-Men are being introduced to the Marvel Champions card game. That's a really fun box. I'm not going to go into it really, but I think it's phenomenal. It was a lot of fun, and I think it's got some really clever scenario design in it, and I really, really like them. But so doing this, I was just like, fuck, I might as well just put X-Men movies on in the background while I play this game, right? That seems nice. So I watched the first 3 X-Men movies, which I have not seen since they first came out in theaters.
What a time capsule.
Yeah. So going through them quickly, X-Men 1, okay, like not that bad. It's very quick, but you know what? It's very much just like, here's the goal, we're going to get there. Very much on rails, not a lot else going on to it. X2, actually a really good movie.
That's how I remember it. I remember X2 actually being solid.
X2 actually does like some really good stuff, and just like, you know, the discussion about mutants and just kind of like the character development's really good and really there. Like this is like, I think this is when people think of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. This is the one they picture. Mm-hmm. And I think it's his best version of the character. Like I really liked it. Like I finished the movie, and I was like, I kind of want to watch it again, and I don't get that a lot. But it was very much just like that's a movie that I need to put in my rotation of movies just to throw on and watch every once in a while. And then I watched X-Men: The Last Stand, and that's a clown shoes, but it's a fun clown shoes now in retrospect. So you know, it's just very silly and doesn't make any. It has the problem where it's like we want to do these different storylines, but we don't know how to put them together. But we want to make sure Magneto's in it, but we don't want him to be the main villain. But he kind of has to be. Like it's just a bunch of like, come on, commit to something. So I watched that. I was like, all right. And then I watched the new X-Men ones with what's it called? Michael Fassbender and...
Which ones? Because those vary so wildly in quality.
The First Class ones.
First Class is my favorite X-Men movie.
So fun fact, I have seen none of those movies up until then.
Oh shit, let's go.
X-Men First Class is... It actually makes a mockery, I think, of a lot of Marvel films. It's so good.
It's good.
Like, yeah, it's like, wow... This is what X-Men movies should be like.
This is storytelling. Like they had they wanted to say something. Like
yeah, it was really, really good. And I was really hesitant about Jennifer Lawrence being Mystique and how she was being reincorporated into like the story. And I was like, because Mystique was like barely a character in the first 3 movies. And in this one, she's a lot better. And I was like, okay, she's very compelling. I really like Michael Fassbender, and God,
Michael Fassbender and not like this.
I can't. It's McAvoy, something McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
James McAvoy, like, oh my God, such good chemistry with each other, and like
that scene where they talk through like lifting the submarine. I think they trained before them. Those scenes are beautiful with like they're going through past trauma.
Yeah, I think that like that movie is phenomenal. It's so good. I really, really liked that movie a lot. And so then I watched Days of Futures Past, and I also really liked that movie.
Yes, that one's also really good.
And I was just like, and that one like also felt like great closure for those first 3 movies.
And it was the final one, so we're good. Yeah,
we're good. We're done. It was like. And I was watching that. I was like, okay, so we're leading up to this assassination plot. It's going to change your mind. And then it doesn't happen till it happens halfway through the movie. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where is this going? I thought it was so good. I was very like, and like also I was like playing. So it was funny because that whole movie is about the Sentinels and then like and all that stuff. That scenario is in that Mutant Genesis box, so you get to like play through it. So I was like. Really happy with that movie. And then I watched X-Men Apocalypse, and I liked 1/3 of that movie. And that third of the movie is the scenes where it was just like the newer students being in there and kind of doing stuff.
And Quicksilver does the thing. Wait, no, he did that in Days of Future Past, right?
He does it both.
Okay, right. Yeah. And like it's fine the second time.
Yeah, but like the second time they do it, it feels very much like a Deus Ex Machina. Like, oh, people really like that scene. Let's do it again in this one, and it's very obvious.
With an explosion.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, whatever. But
I believe I saw this movie while waiting for my car to get fixed. It was a long fix, by the way, so I saw a lot of it.
I really wish that movie had just stuck to like something attacks the mansion blows up, and Jean Grey, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, they all get kidnapped. They have to find their way back home. Because I think that's actually an interesting story for those characters, and like having them be on their own with their powers and working together as a team, and sets up for this new era of X-Men coming in. Didn't get that, which is very unfortunate. I don't think the rest of the movie is worth talking about. Now, I have not watched all of them. None of the Wolverine movies are on Disney Plus, which sucks because those are just funny to watch. I didn't want to watch Dark Phoenix because I hear that's just awful. And I'm kind of saving Logan for a rating day. I've never seen Logan.
Ooh.
Make long story short, I got dumped right before I was going to see that movie, so I just kind of been like holding that
You've been holding that L for Logan.
Yeah, for a long time. But the big thing here was like I was really impressed with Days of Futures Past and First Class.
Yes, I'm glad that because I remember you had not watched them. I was like, man, I hope Joe likes them one day.
Oh man, I thought they were great. Like that was also like I finished watching those two movies. I'm like, I kind of want to watch them again and just put them on because they're worth putting in my rotation of just like Marvel movies or whatever that I put on the background.
Question for the class: have y'all seen Logan?
The last X-Men movie I saw was like X-Men 2002.
Okay, cool.
I think I've seen all of them but Logan, which sucks because that's supposed to be one of the best ones. So what am I doing?
I have a hot take that I actually like those two X-Men movies we were talking about more than Logan. I think Logan is just kind of a bad time. It's well written.
It's very depressing from what I hear.
Yeah, it's not my vibe. And also, like, a bunch of little kids have to take drugs in the woods to, like, murder a bunch of dudes. It's like, yeah, whatever.
So, what this is all leading up to was that I finished that Neon Genesis box. I finished X-Men. And I was just like, I kind of want to read more X-Men or experience more X-Men. So, I researched online, and I figured out where to start reading X-Men comics. And I started with the Chris Claremont run of X-Men, and I am really enjoying this run of comic books. Shockingly,
Yay.
And I read like earlier this year Zack Snyder's Batman. I was like, whatever. And I read Miss Marvel, and I enjoyed Miss Marvel, but like I just wasn't blown away by it. But like I'm reading these, and I'm kind of understanding where like that magic of X-Men is coming from. And I'm still very early in his run.
Sorry, did you say Zack Snyder's Batman?
I'm sorry, not Zack Snyder's.
Okay.
It's his brother. I can't remember what his brother's name is.
I would know.
Yeah, but like the Snyder Batmans. So but like this run is just like I think what's part of it. There's two things that I think is really good. Is that like he basically was just given control of X-Men because X-Men right before he took over was failing shockingly. And like Stan Lee really didn't know what to do with the characters, and so they were reprinting issues, and so Chris Claremont came on and he's like, we're gonna do giant X-Men, which is gonna reboot the franchise and kind of be a sequel, and then you can just go from there. And he and this man wrote X-Men for 17 years, which is crazy in comic terms. Like you usually, if you're on a comic run, you usually do it for like 1 or 2 years. You don't go for 17 years. And through research, this is like core X-Men lore. Like this, he wrote literally Days of Futures Past, Dark Phoenix, like Magneto's actual character development. All of that is within this guy's like comic book run. The only problems I have with it is the art's not great, and that's more of just because of the time and like what they had access to and just all of that. I can't really fault it for it. The other one is Chris Claremont is a wordy motherfucker, and he did not trust his artists to like put down onto page what he wanted to express. So like there are a lot of times where he is describing what is literally happening on the page for no reason. Like there's distinctly a line of panels where Cyclops takes off his visors, keeps his eyes closed so he can put on his sunglasses so he can continue seeing while like Storm is having a conversation with him. Right above that, he describes why he's doing that. Like he doesn't like trust the reader to understand what's going on, and it's very weird.
Sounds like really good writing, yeah. I can see why you like it.
Yeah. But that being said, like there's some really cool stuff here. Like I'm in like this portion where like the X-Men get kidnapped by Magneto and they fight in his base and the base blows up. But like when it blows up, Jean Grey and the Beast, Hank McCoy, think the other X-Men have died and have the X-Jet and go back to Professor Xavier and they tell them they have died. Meanwhile, the other X-Men are actually like on the other side of the world in Antarctica because like Magneto's fucking base was built in the center of the earth and like he had escape pods and some other shit. So they have to then do like this like Stardust Crusaders like traveling around the world to get back home sort of a deal.
I think
so
I've
like
seen that one.
So like, and it's just a cool concept of like they have no backup from Professor X. Like Jean Grey, who's like their heaviest hitter, isn't in the party, so they're really struggling here. They're mutants, so people don't trust them. It's just a really cool like scenario for those X-Men to be in, and like traveling around the world. And like this is also like a whole new team. They've only been together for like a year, so like there's like tensions between Wolverine and Cyclops, and Colossus is like a Russian in the 1960s, so he's just like fuck, I don't know. I've really been enjoying it, and I'm just kind of actually shocked, and I'm still very early in the run. But yeah, I just like I've been doing a lot of X-Men stuff, and like everything X-Men has been good. I'm actually kind of excited to see him in Marvel Universe, and I've realized that in a lot of the shows they've been planting seeds of like anti-mutant stuff in them, actually, which is interesting. Yes, like I realized it finally when I was watching She-Hulk.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like it just kind of like clicked that like, oh, they are planting mistrust in superpowered beings, basically.
Okay, but why does that extend to mutant-only anti-sentiments? Like,
so that's the problem I have with X-Men, is that like it doesn't make sense, because like how is it that people could be like very much against mutants, but then you have fucking Spider-Man like crawling on walls and doing shit, and I guess people kind of hate them, but like he's more or less portrayed in much more light in Marvel stories. Like
it had to be such a shift from the current MCU for people to go like, man, fuck Captain America and Thor. Like,
yeah,
they're memed like 15-year-old girls in Homecoming are talking about how much they want to fuck Thor. Like, that's just not the world that they live in.
Yeah, and and it's a hard thing, but like they're definitely trying to plant those seeds, because like there's a lot of like additional like stuff happening where like there's just more collateral damages and things like that. But it's always bothered me about X-Men was just like they can exist as Marvel Universe, but like how can just regular people tell them apart from other superpowered beings? And why isn't that more of a reoccurring conflict in every Marvel storyline that, like, I don't know, man. It's always never made sense to me. Also, what doesn't make sense is fucking Storm. Why is Storm a mutant? I don't understand. Like, everyone else, stuff comes out of their body. Okay, makes sense. Storm, I'm gonna make a hurricane. What? Why is that mutant power? Why is that just not like another superhuman power?
Dude, it's really different from Thor. It's really different.
I don't get it. Like, it's always been something that's driven me up a wall ever since I was a kid. Was like, why is Storm a mutant? Everything else, Wolverine has claws come out of her. Cyclops has an eye beams that come out of him. Professor X has a super smart brain. Magneto, sure, can make magnetic fields because everything has magnetic fields, I guess. But like, Storm makes a hurricane that has nothing to do with her body. I don't get it. Like,
okay.
But
it's
whatever.
Okay, Grandpa. It'll be
also,
fun.
Chris Claremont really likes having Storm naked in this series. Like, he finds every opportunity, like every fourth or fifth issue, to just have her naked for some reason or another. Yeah. But that's it. I think X-Men's actually pretty good. and I'm going to keep reading Chris Claremont's run, and we'll see how X-Men end up in the Marvel Universe in about 6 years.
Hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
Instead of talking about the other Marvel thing, Tyler, why don't you spook me, because I'm so scared of these mutants because they're so different from the other heroes.
I have been watching spooky stuff this month. Because it's Halloween month. You know,
yeah.
traditional. We just watched, I mean, it's not all spooky stuff. I mean, sometimes it's just like a nice comedy spoof. You know, there's like Shaun of the Dead you can watch this month, zombies and stuff like that.
Side note, I'm really sad we didn't finish This Is the End, or whatever we're watching.
No, it is At World's End.
At World's End. I was quite liking that movie when we left off.
Yes,
but anywho,
it gets there. You're not expecting it. So, wait, no, not At World's End. Is that the name of it?
Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy one. People will know. Anywho.
Yeah. So a couple movies that we've watched. Some that stuck out was I did a rewatch of Sinister. That movie is leagues above other horror films you would want to watch for this season. A lot of people like to go to like The Conjuring, or like the Annabelle cinematic universe, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like to stick away from those. So if anybody's like, oh, you know, something spooky, I would recommend Sinister. It's not watched enough. Not only is it a scary and tense movie, but the plot keeps you kind of motivated to keep watching all the way through, with the ending being predictably unpredictable. So it keeps you on your toes, makes you have to stay interested. It doesn't do like a big twist or anything like Hereditary does, or the entire movie's about like what the fuck ever, and then you're actually doing this one thing, and it's like, okay, cool, like neat. This is very So yeah, Sinister, I would recommend it. Another one I rewatched is The Ritual. God, that movie's good. I fucking love it. It takes that horror element, and mixes in very human emotions and problems, and kind of keeps that thematic all the way until the very end, while still making the movie have outrageous sci-fi elements, which is what I like out of my shit. So like, as compared, like, I would say it's a good antithesis to something like Midsummer, where everything is very human in that show, and humans are the scary thing.
Everything's fucked up here.
Yeah, but imagine like a giant flower monster came out at the end and was like, haha, I'm Midsummer. And just like started eating everybody.
Florence Pugh goes, ah!
It's Midsummer all along.
Yeah,
and then Peter Griffin goes, she said it.
Yeah. So yeah, like I like my movies to kind of get to that point at the end where like shit just kind of hits the fan. Malignant did a very good job of that as well.
Oh man,
like what a fucking movie ride right there is that movie. So yeah, a new one that I watched is more of a classic. This is Jacob's Ladder, a 1990 horror film. So it's not all the way like super old. The movie's very predictable.
Now, is it predictable because it's written predictably, or because it's so influential you've literally seen it be?
It's influential, so we've seen it again.
Yeah,
I see.
Okay.
Like, so that's why. It's like, it was definitely, I was sitting there watching it, it's like, I've seen this story happen like before now. Like, I've seen
in bits and pieces
before. I wonder if this is where it started. The story starts off with a man like they're at Vietnam. Some shit goes down, and I'm gonna keep it very loose as not to spoil anything. Some shit goes down, and then you start getting like flashbacks of this man's life and what's going down with like this man's life, what happened to Vietnam, like is he having PTSD, things like that. It's really good, and for 1990s effects, like holy shit. That's I think what like really keeps this film like slightly relevant to this day is their special effects are creepy as fuck. They are so off-putting. They remind me of what is the like when you get rid of the evil spirit?
Exorcism?
Yes. So like, you know, The Exorcist, the 1973 one with the really good effects.
Sure. Yeah.
There's the Evil Dead movie, not the new one, the 1981 version. It's not CGI. It's all practical props and effects and costuming and makeup. It's fucking creepy. It's fucking weird. It's not pretty to look at, and that's what I liked about it.
Are these like available in a platform I might have access to?
I believe Jacob's Ladder. We watched it on something. I wonder if it was on HBO Go.
That makes sense.
It might have been just something I pulled up on a classic website that I use to watch.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Well, 1, 2, 3 movies it is.
Is it 4fmovies.to, you know?
Or, you know, my secret method.
Yeah, so that was what I liked about it. Just like creepy effects, like all the way. I think that was like the main thing that I really liked that 1981 Evil Dead movie is like a lot of older movies it's hard to be scared by. Like holy shit. If they can still creep you the fuck out, that's the good stuff.
So I thought about yeah, that's good. Which one would you recommend the most for little old me?
If you haven't seen Sinister, I would start with that.
Okay.
And then follow with The Ritual. And then out of these 3 movies, I have a special one for you this weekend that we have not watched.
Ooh, we're gonna watch Jacob's Ladder?
No. Like, I haven't even talked about it. I hardly talk about this movie. A lot of horror, people who are very much into the horror movies know this movie. It's really known for its big jump scares. But it's still very entertaining along the way. I feel like a lot of people probably look down on it for being cheap. I think it's still fun to watch.
Over time, Tyler's definitely become the horror buff of the group.
Yeah.
I have always loved horror movies. I always set them up to watch them in a good setting. I never try to go to the movies to watch horror movies. I definitely am like, I'm gonna be by myself watching it at 11:30 at night in a house by myself.
That takes some balls. But
yeah.
Let's move on to something not horrific, the sweetest, most colorful game possible. Bradley, you picked up Splatoon 3. Last time I talked about it, it was just me, so I didn't talk about it very much.
I also picked up Splatoon 3.
Oh shit, that's right.
Yeah.
Dude, me and Emmy have been playing the shit out of it, like all day, every day. I think we're both like level 26, 27.
No! You're so far above me!
I'm still an overachiever in Salmon Run. I think she's the next level up, maybe.
Damn.
And dude, like, I love how much there is to unlock. They streamlined so much about this game. It's easier than ever to play with your friends. It could still be easier, but you know what? We can reliably do it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that, like, I'm actually having fun with all the game modes except Clan Blitz still, but dude,
it's unwinnable.
Like, even just the other night, like, it's such a tiny little mini game, and you don't get a ton for doing it. But I really like the little card.
Yes, thing. Like every once in a while, I'll just be like, all right, two more card battles, and I just play them. Like playing this game is just me having fun for an extended period of time. Like I'm eating a buffet, and everything that buffet is really good to me. I feel like I can jump on, pick a random mode, just have a great time. Usually, I'll do like a little bit of each mode. Oh man, it's been super fun.
That's the thing. I can do Turf War. I can do any of the ranked modes. I can do the card game. I can do Salmon Run. Any mode I pick, I'm having fun. And
I've been playing the single player too, which is like, I've reached the point of the single player, which is I think World like 2, like back half of World 2, World 3. You get these levels that are genuinely using the Splatoon mechanics in very fun ways, and like this game just gives me serotonin, and like just at any given moment, I think like part of it, and I think something brilliant about the game is the UX and like the feel. Like you shoot shit, you collect items, and like the juice. Like it's such a juicy game.
Every little thing you do in the game just feels good. Like shooting feels good, swimming feels good, jumping, like everything just feels good.
Yeah, and I think that's part of why the gameplay loop is it's so addicting when I do jump on. I've definitely played less than y'all, but every time I get on, it's super fun. And I'm doing quite a bit of rank this time. I when I played Splatoon 2, if I played the multiplayer at all, I was mostly a salmon run guy. I would just do turf war, I think. In this one, I'm actually having fun learning like the strategies of the gameplay modes and trying out various weapons. I'm trying to get better at aiming. That is like a learning curve that I have to go through.
That's the thing. Like Splatoon game, I feel like I've tried to focus on different weapons because like Splatoon 1, I was just like, I'll just do the basics, Soldier 76, Splatter Shot Junior. Splatoon 2, I think I only ever used the big paintbrush because I thought it was cute. And in this game, I've been using a lot of like the dually weapons because I love the dodge roll.
Yeah, interesting. You didn't stick with the machine guns because like you seem really good with those.
I liked it for like a day, and then I was like,
no.
ah.
Probably ain't about that life. But fuck all that shit. We're really here to talk about the real shit, which is Salmon Run. Oh,
It's the best, but I can't believe Splatoon 1 did not have it.
Salmon Run, I love so dearly. It gets so intense. You just feel so good when you and your team can pull it off.
And it never gets easier, ever.
No. It only gets easier if you lose a bunch and you D-rank. And even then, like, once you get past the first rank or two, it's back to being difficult, and it only gets worse from there.
And it keeps you guessing, because, like, it's never... The difficulty is never totally reliable wave to wave, because, like...
Oh, no, yeah.
Because, like, you know, you'll have some matches where it's like, okay, the first wave, it kind of trickles enemies at you, and you get used to it. But then other times, the very first wave will instantly be, like, 10 bosses.
Yeah, like, a single type of boss spawning at the wrong time can spell the doom for your whole team. Like,
the unpredictability is what makes it terrifying, and it's even more unpredictable with that big kaiju boss now, because you never know if you're actually going to fight him.
Which we beat once. We beat it.
Is Salmon Run Risk of Rain 2?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not. Risk of Rain 2 actually will go on forever. Salmon Run has very much like, oh, you did it, you're done.
Salmon Run respects your time, so you can do a bunch of runs at night. It's the Pokemon Unite of shooting shit.
You only have to beat 3 waves, but good fucking luck.
Yeah, good luck, buddy. Yeah, and the thing is, like, with those Salmon Run bosses, every single one of them has been the bane of my existence. It just depends on the configuration of the map at the time.
Yeah, dude, the maps are really just crazy because some of them are actually so small that the kaiju boss takes up like a third of the map. and then other ones are actually gigantic. And then that can completely change whenever the water level changes, like, wave to wave.
Yeah, that's such a good variation. And then you get all those goofy bonus maps that can vary from actually hard to being like, oh, we're getting fed a win on this wave.
And then even crazier is, like, sometimes there's, like, these big chungo bosses that come out of the ocean, and they throw these bombs that, like, make waves that, you know, kill you if you stand in them. But here's the thing. When those bosses spawn, with them, they also spawn a cannon that allows you to shoot golden eggs back towards your basket.
Which, there's now the mechanic where for a lot of ink, you can throw an egg towards your basket, and the point of the mode is to get eggs in your basket before the time runs out and not die. And that act of throwing lets you really make some like split-second tag team actions where you and a teammate like just get in the same wavelength all of a sudden, and you start like tossing eggs to each other, make like a little daisy chain.
Dude, talking about that, here's how to tell someone's a good person. All right, so you know, like if you go to the grocery store, you have to put your cart back in the corral, right? That's what a decent, upstanding citizen does.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
If you're playing Salmon Run and it's the big bundle of golden eggs on the beach, and you don't daisy chain it back, if you're just running each individual one back, you're an idiot. And I'm not visiting.
Bradley, we're all about good vibes here, especially Good vibes. Also, the lobby. I just log in and I'm like, what are these darn kids memeing about today? And it's a good time.
My God.
The lobby is so funny.
You can just walk around the town like for 10 minutes and just be screenshotting all the art.
I don't. Okay, so Bradley, can you explain to me, like, is it just like before you log off for the day, draw something that your Splatoon boy would display in the lobby, or are people just standing there displaying stuff? Okay. I just
you just draw something and it's like your character, if they show up in someone else's lobby, will be displaying their artwork.
I just wanted to make sure, but like, God, there's some funny shit.
Oh, dude, and it becomes even funnier when it's not just a speech bubble, but when it's actual graffiti sprayed on the city.
Yeah. Bradley was like, man, how many Splatoon fans are Germa fans? And the answer was like, Bradley, every Germa fan's a Splatoon fan.
For a few days, that's all I saw in anyone's drawings.
That's so good. Joe, tell us a little bit about your experience, because I feel like you're not good vibe. You're not good vibe squad. What happened?
I think Splatoon. So here's like my thing. I haven't played a lot. I think Splatoon's ranked mode, or not ranked mode, but like its turf war stuff is just not for me. I don't really enjoy it that much. I think part of it too is also like I just get matched up against people that are just fucking crazy and good at this game. And you're just like, I just want to play the video game. Like, why do Call of Duty nerds not want skill-based matchmaking? I don't have it right now, and it sucks. And I just,
to be fair, when we play together, we got fucking stomped.
Yeah, like it's I there's just something about that it's not really clicking for me on that sense of like that PvP mode. I do really like Salmon Run. I think Salmon Run's a really cool mode. I think it's really fun. I like that you're like constantly changing weapons, so you have to adapt every round.
Yes.
I like how you have various different like things happening. Like you get low tide, high tide,
events.
Stuff like that. And I think that's really, really neat. I think part of it too is just like I have other things to play, and so Splatoon's low on my list. I really like Splatoon. I don't think in retrospect it was worth the $60 or something.
Now, Joe, I think you should give it a couple more tries with us, because you're still fairly early, and keep in mind, like, this is my second Splatoon game, Bradley's third. Yeah. This is like a young man's game, and we're just a little older, we're a little harder for the upkeep, so I feel like it takes a little time for it to hit.
I think, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's just, I think there's some really cool stuff in there, but also I'm just, like, I don't have the patience to, like, relearn a different SPS. I think, like, Splatoon is really cool, creative-wise and design-wise, but for me, it's just not something that's really up there in terms of, like, stuff I would really enjoy. I would buy this game at $40. If I had to go back in time, I would not buy it at the full $60 or whatever it was when I bought it. I think Salmon Run's really, really good.
There's so much content, though. That's the thing. I think it earns its $60 price.
That is the thing. Is like if you play every mode and you enjoy every mode, it's 100% worth that $60. But like for someone that's just like, I think Salmon Run's the best mode. I kind of really all I would want to play. That's where things get a little.
We should play ranked mode sometime, because I think having a direct objective might make a little more sense for you.
Yeah, but also, like, it's so hard to get the ranked mode. Like, I feel like it takes forever to level up in this game. Like,
you don't have it unlocked yet?
No. That's the thing. Like, it's only level 10, but I'm at level 5.
It's not level 10, because I played it at level 8 and 9 with Bradley.
So I figured that out. It's apparently because you and I had played Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Oh, we got legacied in.
Yeah, because Emmy had to also get to level 10.
Oh, shit, I had no idea.
Yeah, I was tripping.
Yeah, it's so it's just like this is a lot to like get to a mode that like I might actually enjoy. But I forget, is the multiplayer levels and the other what's it called? Salmon Run levels separate?
They are separate.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I have to go through Turf War more and more. I think Turf War is fine. It's just I just keep dominating it and like.
From Salmon War, you can get a thing that boosts your EXP gain. Like you'll get like a food ticket, and that's how I get it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
That's Splat.
Splatoon's a good game. It's just not 100% a Joe game. That's it.
Give it a try. We'll see. We also played another shooter. This one more grounded, more boots to the ground, a little bit more of a Joe game.
Yes, actually, which was very weird, but yeah,
Very weird Joe game.
yeah. I was shocked at how much fun I had playing this game. I was like, oh, it's over. I want to keep playing. Please come back.
So tell us about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta, Joe.
I mean, I think all of us played it except for Bradley. But yeah, the Modern Warfare 2 beta came out. I really enjoyed it. It felt like I was playing Modern Warfare back in the day from like high school. I was having a grand old time. I think there was a lot of change ups from like the previous games, and I like the perk system. I know that's a bit divisive, and I had just a ball. It's hard to just talk about Call of Duty because it's just Call of Duty. So like, what do you want from me?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that perk system, but also like I'm just not the core audience, so it's like maybe it is for the best that it's that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like the slow pacing for it.
Yeah,
I liked playing. I played 2019, and that was before. In like they had like slide canceling and shit. and you know that's really good because a lot of people who play Call of Duty do like that high paced stuff. In the beta, I played very slow.
Yeah, I did too.
And I like it because I played a lot of Siege lately, and I just like that slower paced gameplay. I can't sweat anymore with the best of them.
I do too, and it feels more tactical and it feels less stupid when it's slower. Like in my opinion, like it's kind of upsetting when you get into the games and there's like I remember like distinctly like way back when like everyone was just running around with a knife and a gun and then you would just go stab and you could easily get like 15 kills in one life that way because you were just running around and no one could like shoot you. Like I like it when like the games feel like I don't know what they're supposed to be like a little bit. Like I like the long fire shooting. Like I played an assault rifle. I know Tyler didn't like them a lot, but like I was having a great time using the assault rifles to shoot dudes.
It feels like a weird hybrid of like modernity and like the older Modern Warfare style when it had to be slowed down.
Yeah, it's overall like my impressions have been very positive. I've already pre-ordered the game, so I'm definitely going to play it when it comes out with full specs. However, I think the UI in this game is not great. It's so confusing.
I feel like they haven't been good in any of the ones I've tried recently.
Yeah, like the gun customization, it's cool that like you can customize so much, but also it's a little bit overwhelming, and you're looking for something and you don't know where to find it. Like it took me way too long to figure out how to actually change stuff on my gun, and I was like, okay, finally. And I don't think also they made it very clear how progression works in this game because they had guns in the game that you couldn't progress to unlock technically, but like they were still in the game. So like it was very confusing. Like, can I unlock this gun? Can I not unlock this gun? And I couldn't tell if it was because the beta they just didn't want me to have it or because I was not doing something correctly to progress and unlock the gun. So
yeah,
that's
your question's as good as mine, man.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I like the new perk system. The way the perks work now in this game is that you get like 2 base perks that are always on. You get a middle perk that will turn on after a certain amount of time if you're doing well enough, and then you get your last perk, which is a much more powerful perk that like is really kind of going to push you at the edge at the end of the game to really get you ahead and try to win the game. Like hard line and other stuff is in that slot. And I kind of like that because it lets there's some sort of power progression and curve throughout the game, and I think that's kind of neat.
It to me kind of feels like we changed it just to do something different, just to like say we're a different game. Because like, was there anything wrong with like the other perk systems?
I remember the older games had like what was it called when like you could unlock like 6 perks at once?
Specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to like to play specialist because it's like I'm not good enough to get consistent kill streaks. Like I just want to unlock like the perks all.
Put hardline on. That's all I want.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting because like the way this game paces out, you get like the third perk. Like you start off with 2 perks instead of 3, like in every other
Yeah.
Call of Duty, but you get that third perk in like a minute, 2 minutes.
If you're actually getting kills, if you're doing poorly, it comes out much later.
Yeah, and I think I read somewhere they're like planning to fix that probably. I think they had like a little post-mortem where they're like, yeah, we're gonna fix some of the stuff with perks, but they're not gonna change much. I don't know. I like. It'll be interesting to see. I that's all the YouTube videos were saying was like people didn't like it, and yeah, I think it's like you said, it's just different, Willer.
People got different preferences, I think, for what they want.
Yeah.
Their flavor of Call of Duty to be there.
Call of Duty. I think though is that it gives them the opportunity of like they can put more powerful stuff at the end of that like perk line because it comes up later. So like you don't start the game off like with this super powerful ability. Like I feel like Hardline, for example, like if you're really good, you just throw Hardline on and then you can get a helicopter very quickly.
See, I don't even think Hardline is that fucking good. Like
it's good with the right that people that can get consistent kills because you can get to your kill streaks faster or whatever. In my opinion, but that's just But Hardline is also made for me, which is like I can't consistently get 3 kills, but I can luck out and get 2 or whatever it is, and I can get that UAV going. So that's just me.
Yeah, like there was one that I love to use. So I didn't see a lot of people using this one, but it was something called Resupply. And it's been a perk in the games in the past, but it makes it to where your lethal grenades recharge over time. So it's like, I'm starting off the game with 2 frags, and 3 frags was something that was in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original.
Yeah.
That people were like, this is ridiculously OP. Okay, it's 1 frag less, but I start off just chunking 2 nades off the map, and then I can keep getting more. Not only that, proximity mines are OP as shit. So I'm starting off with something in like, what was that? Hostage rescue?
Yeah, that's a fun mode, by the way.
That is a fun mode.
Yeah, especially in those single life game modes where you do like maybe 10 rounds, you have your third perks unlocked, like, or you have all your perks unlocked for like well over 2/3 of the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's great. And then the ground war. Holy fuck. I love ground war.
I did not enjoy ground. I like Call of Duty being that more mid-size game. I don't like the bigger size version of Call of Duty.
I like big.
I do not. I big does not equal better. It doesn't. More players does not mean the game is better.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Battlefield a little bit when I was playing it, just because like, I don't know, I play Battlefield differently than other people, so I like to set up at one spot and kind of hold down that flag the whole game.
Yeah.
And it feels like the map, at least the one that I played, the Seraph Bay, is big enough to do that. But you still have Call of Duty TTK, which it feels weird.
Yeah. I talked to Willer about this, but like I feel like domination is like a really ancient mode now. Like
yeah. I feel like it's outpaced.
It's too much of like running in circles of going from one flag to the other. It's very, I don't know. It just feels like deathmatch with just an additional thing to do.
Bad flow.
Yeah. I think that's more of like just game design has gotten better and better things have come out. Like it just doesn't feel good to play with. So it's like I've just been going to team deathmatch and playing that. But everything else in the game, hostage rescue's been really good. Seek and Destroy is always a great time.
Yeah.
This stupid game has been making me go like, man, I wish I had some actual like game headphones to plug in because I used to do that all the time with in Call of Duty back when I was a high schooler, and I was
you just need headphones in general, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but
like you don't need gamer headphones. You just need headphones.
I just hate wearing headphones, man. I get way too hot.
Get some good Audio Technicas.
Yeah. Man, good game though. I'm really looking forward to the end of the month when it comes out, and we'll probably discuss it again in depth. But yeah, I'm actually kind of excited for a Call of Duty game because I had a great time playing this one. Also, netcode was really good, which was kind of like the big worry I had about the game was that because I tried playing Vanguard and that shit sucked. Like it was rubber banding the entire time. But we'll see what happens when the game actually releases.
Joe.
Yeah.
She-Hulk, go.
Okay. She-Hulk came out. It just finished. I watched the last episode 30 minutes before this podcast started. I really like She-Hulk. The ending's kind of weird. I
heard about the ending. I feel like that is a poor decision for that character.
Yeah, I think they could have done a lot better, or if the section of that ending was shorter, if it wasn't most of the episode, I think. But it got me some good laughs. It's a weird thing because like very much the writers in the show, like they sat down and like we gotta write the She-Hulk show, and they immediately knew what the response was going to be about the She-Hulk show, and they kind of wrote around that. And I think they were very clever in doing so.
Some good 4D chess, I respect.
Yeah. But the problem in the long term with the show is that, like, if we could, 5 years later when we go back and watch this, the context of that show is going to be really weird to kind of re-experience, because what kind of heightens the She-Hulk currently, that show, is knowing that this discourse is happening in real life and the show is talking about it. So you have this really weird that She-Hulk is actually being meta about what is happening while the show is going on, which is very clever and actually fits in She-Hulk. But like in the long term, it's that like if we go back and watch it, it's gonna be really weird because it's gonna be this weird show that like do what was happening at the time. So I'm not sure how much like it's going to carry there from that perspective. But there's still a lot about the show that I enjoyed. I think it was very much like a nice episodic show that wasn't very big and bombastic. And like that was kind of part of the ending, was very much just like it doesn't have to be a big flashy ending for it to be a fun experience. But they kind of did this weird like meta ending that's a little bit flashy. So, you know, I liked it. The lady that plays Jessica Walters was really good. I think she's incredibly charming, and so I do want to see more of her. But I do think like the ending to this show is like haha funny, but I think you could have also actually tried to like make a good real ending that made sense in the context of the show.
Is she known for being a meta character?
Yes, in her first like run, she like busted out of the comic book and like told the writer to rewrite a panel because it was stupid, sort of a deal. Yeah, like that's a known thing she does all the time. She did it before Deadpool did it.
Fuck Deadpool. She's the new meta girl.
Yeah. So but yeah, I really like She-Hulk. I don't particularly think it's worth like just going out and experience for your own enjoyment of the character. It's definitely like one of those things where it's like if you're going through all of Marvel, it's not bad. And I do like the character. It's just, I don't know, man. It's very much just like it played 4D chess. It's like cool, you did it now, but in the long term, I don't think it's going to pan out well for you.
The only episodes I saw were 6 and 7, and I thought they were really good and cute.
Yeah,
but it sounds like the only. It sounds like the. I'm not gonna say the only. It sounds like the main episodes that have controversy are like the first and the last episode.
Yeah. But then again, like the Matt Murdock episode where he shows up was actually like really fun. It was really good. I actually really enjoyed that one.
Y'all, we should do we should make a Marvel tier list one day, because Phase 4, man. What up?
Yeah, but like I also rewatched all of the Marvel thing earlier this year. Phase 2 is not great either. I'm gonna be honest.
I'd reckon it's better than Phase 4.
I don't know. Phase 2 had like
Phase 2 has the Guardian movies.
Yeah. And Thor: Dark World.
Okay, but it has the Guardian movies, like
Iron Man 2.
What's in
Guardians movie?
What's in Phase 2? Hold on.
Yeah. I think this Phase 2 might have not Civil War, but Winter Soldier.
As Ultron, I thought we were the few the proud. Who repped Ultron?
Ultron's good.
Ultron is good.
Yeah, let's see.
Iron Man 3.
Wait, Iron Man 3's in this? Okay, never mind.
It's got Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Sorry,
Guardians.
I remember now. I'm thinking that the later half of Phase 1 is not great.
Yes.
I was kind of like, fuck, man. How did we even get to this stage? Like, because that had Iron Man 2 and the other Thor movie. I think actually of all of these, Thor: The Dark World is the only stinker in that bunch. Because man, Iron Man 3 is great, and the rest of those are really good too.
Ant-Man exists.
Ant-Man's fine. I like Ant-Man's actually is okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So in Marvel-related news, I got 3 episodes into Moon Knight before I got addicted to Survivor. I will say I did enjoy those 3 episodes, and I'm looking forward to like a post-Survivor other half of Moon Knight watch. I'll get there.
I mentioned it before, but Moon Knight like surprisingly became the thing that I want to see most of next. Like
right now it has the potential to be the best thing in Phase 4 for me. But
yeah, I was blown away at what they did, and Oscar Isaac killed it.
They all start good.
Yeah,
I mean, it even didn't start good. I think that it got good in the middle.
I think Moon Knight ends pretty well, and it leaves on a killer cliffhanger that like sets up season 2. But
final topic.
Yeah,
Tyler, what is Edge?
Yeah, that's me.
Final topic and a half. Tyler, tell me about Edgerunners.
I also watched Edgerunners.
Joe also watched Edge.
I didn't know y'all both edged.
I
we
watched it
together.
I actually watched it right before. I watched the whole thing right before our Tuesday time, and then we changed it. I'm like, oh, okay. I sped run through this for almost no reason. But I also had insomnia that night, so it really didn't.
Oh, that was a tough day. You ate mac and cheese.
I did. I was very upset with myself.
So I am not like a big fan of Cyberpunk in any capacity. Not just like the game.
The genre.
The genre. I'm definitely not a Cyberpunk person.
I am too.
It was entertaining.
Tyler, thank you. I thought it was fine.
Like I'll give a hot take about it.
Yeah.
The animation is interesting.
It's a trigger. It's trigger. Like it's just.
I don't think it's that good. In some ways, I would say the stylistic choices they made at a lot of points make it even difficult to tell what the fuck is going on.
Ooh, that's good criticism because I feel that about certain shows that people love, but we won't get into that.
Not only is it hard to tell what the fuck is going on at some points, visually, but story-wise as well, this show might as well, it feels very episodic. Like, you could watch any episode at any given point and you have not mixed any context because there is so much not told in between each episode. It feels like there's a 1.5 year long time skip in between one of the episodes.
There is a 1.5 year long time skip between.
It tries to treat the audience like it's smart, and a lot of the audience is smart because they've played the Cyberpunk games, so they're able to realize those things and stick along for the ride. But me sitting there, I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Like, okay, cool, we're here now.
They made the crime of assuming Tyler was smart.
I think
I'm kidding, bud.
I think the problem with the show is that like it feels like it was going to be a 2-season show that they shoved into 1 season. I think it goes way too fast to actually like cash in on those emotional beats that could exist in the show.
Dude, one thing I want to point out, the characters are, it's weird. It's a stylistic choice that the company does, but I really don't like how it feels like there's a lot of detail because there's a lot going on screen. However, at the same time, I can't feel everything is still so flat. Like, there's a lot on screen, but it's all very flat, solid colors.
You don't like the shading style, or rather lack of shading style they do.
Yeah, it feels like I'm watching, like, frame to frame of something that's very well animated, but looks like the drawing quality was, like, of a, like, Harley Quinn or Cartoon Network Batman show.
That's Trigger, is they will do that a lot.
And a lot of people love it. I hope you do. It is genuinely not for me.
Yeah, I like Trigger stuff. I really do like the animation stuff, but I do understand that criticism because like they do cut back on a lot of details to like animate something. I think another problem I have with the show is that like Studio Trigger's a really good, really good art studio, but like I think their style really doesn't fit Cyberpunk. Like it's too clean, and that's the problem I have.
Yeah, I'm like just looking at some screenshots right now. Like,
it looks too
good.
pretty. Yes, it looks good, but like the whole thing with Cyberpunk is that it's just shit from top to bottom. Like, everyone's got plugs coming out of their eyes.
I mean, they show the shit too. Like the people in the streets with like the fleshlights strapped onto them. Yeah, like it shows it, but it's like that guy looks like he's also bathed last night.
Yeah, like
that's lame.
The thing. Like, yeah,
like look at that shiny garbage.
Yeah, like you should, when you're walking in Cyberpunk, and like the game does this really well. Like, you should feel disgusting walking around wherever you are, regardless of where you are. And like even when you enter like a clean area, you can't like shake the grime off of it almost. Like there's still like something lingering there. And I think Studio Trigger is just, it's way too pretty. Like I don't need it to be super gritty, but like I need like to guess there has to be a sense of feeling of like this isn't a clean city. It's not a clean time. You're just it's like it's dirty all around you, and people, and like it adds to that tension of like you have to struggle to survive to make some movement in your life because it's just really bad.
That being said, action sequences are really good. If you like Cyberpunk, I would say actually absolutely watch it. If you like Studio Trigger, absolutely watch it. If you just want something new to watch, it wouldn't be anything I would deter anyone from watching. Like, my final verdict is it is entertaining.
Great 2.5, 3 out of 5.
I would say like a 3 generously. I am glad that they brought in the I Want to Stay at Your House, because like when I was playing Cyberpunk the first time, that song actually stood out to me. It's like, oh, this is a good song. I kind of really
the intro by Franz Ferdinand.
No, not the fire, not the intro.
Okay.
I thought the intro to the show is also super fucking lame, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, I not the song, but like the actual visuals of it. I think they could have done something way cooler, and it wasn't enjoyable to me. But that's my opinion. I think it got a lot of hype because it was a Studio Trigger anime, and every time they make something new, it always makes waves. But I think it's okay. It's nothing to be blown away from. It's not Gurren Lagann.
Oh man, I do enjoy me some. You know that wasn't done by Trigger, right?
It was Gynex.
Oh,
it was before.
Yes.
The before times.
Yeah, I found that out because Circuit was like, "Oh, they did Gurren Lagann." I was like, "Nah."
Did Gynex become Trigger, or like did people go from Gynex to Trigger? Yeah.
It's like some of them.
Something happened because those styles are way too similar. But like I'm sorry to say it, your hot new anime is kind of mid.
Oh shit! Is it like high mid, low mid? Is it bad mid? Is it good mid? Which mid is it?
It's just mid.
It's true mid.
True mid.
True mid on the fucking
all random, all mid.
Okay, Tyler, you get a 3-minute. Tell me how you feel about the Better Call Saul ending, because I forgot you finished that.
Did I never talk about Better Call Saul?
Oh, you did twice, but you hadn't finished it.
Oh, yeah.
Did I not? Had I not?
No, wait. Yes, we did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I thought I ranted about how these two figures are the epitome of what previous civilizations would recognize as gods.
Yeah, that was a good line. Okay, you win. Bradley, send us off with your delightfully cooked question of the day.
So a slightly She-Hulk related one and a bonus optional also She-Hulk related one. If there was like supervillain criminal court, would you want to be a defense attorney or a prosecutor?
Ooh.
And part 2 question, if you were in court, what would you be accused of if you were a supervillain? Are you high profile crime or like low profile?
This could get bad.
This could get bad.
My first answer, I would like to prosecute. I'll be the prosecutor of the game.
Wow, Narc Willer.
Narc Willer. Those are super villains. They gotta go down.
Yeah, that's the kind of.
I've heard it all before.
I listened to J. Jonah Jameson on the podcast, and he said that we need to get rid of these guys.
No, he's talking about Spider-Man. God, why would you? I think it'd be hard to be a defendant for a supervillain. Wouldn't you agree? Like,
Probably.
he has honor. He murdered 300 people, but look at his face.
Does She-Hulk defend supervillains in the show, or is it just like anti-heroes or like people who are actually innocent?
She defends Emil Blonsky. She defends a guy. He defends a jackass that kind of is like. He's just a complete jackass. She does a lot of stuff that's more of like that's in the morally gray area. Like at one point, her firm has to take on like this guy who's immortal, and in order to get out of his marriages, he just kills himself because he technically dies. He just comes back to life a few minutes later. So then at that point, the marriage is void. So then he walks away. So she has to like deal with that whole issue. She deals with more villains. She defends more villains and negative, morally gray people than heroes, I would say, in this circumstance. But I think in the comics, it's all over the place. She defends whoever needs to be defended.
Tyler, what side of the court are you in?
I want to be the one being defended.
Oh, okay. You want to do the crime.
You want to do the crime.
Now, what is your crime?
And the time.
That's who I would be.
What is the crime you did with your superpower, Tyler?
I definitely probably I definitely can make something that is already being made by a large company and started selling it on my own as my own product, but definitely am getting sued for like copywriting. But I'm like, no, this comes out of my own body. This is me.
You can't copyright my body.
Yeah.
Can you be like an AI artist generator? That's your superpower. You just make it.
Yeah, that's my power.
The perfect women with their fucked up hands. the AI generators make. I might plead the fifth on my crime. I don't want to say anything incriminating, so who knows? Maybe I just like fuck with people who are rude in public, and I just do something to them. I
would commit just like. I would
kinds of stuff, man.
All kinds of genocide.
I would do stuff like I would like harshly correct people that do very minor crimes, like they park in the wrong spot, so I throw their car out of the parking lot, kind of a thing. It's like what they did, they broke the law, so therefore they should not be able to do that. Yeah, stuff like that.
You know, I would actually go after like politicians that are clearly scumbags and fuck with them with my powers, and then go to big time jail.
Yeah. Good old big boy jail.
I got some names on the hit list, let me tell you. But anyways, I plead the fifth was my answer always. That's all. Well, Bradley, what would you do?
I think I'd be a defense attorney because stick it to the man.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I think I'd be in there for bank robbery because that's probably the first thing I'd do that's big enough. First thing I'd try that's big enough to make me go to jail, and I would definitely fail the first time I do it.
You learn nothing from Worm. Bank robbery is not even on the list of potential things to do. That's so.
I know. I wanna live my favorite book.
Okay.
All
the way to the end.
All the way to the end.
Do banks have money in them still?
I don't know, actually.
They have to because they can hand you cash.
They have to.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they have to have money. At least the ATMs do. Like
they have to have money, or else I'll kill them.
They have to have. There has to be gold in the bank because we're on the gold standard, gang. We're not actually. Just fun fact.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. Educational podcast.
We have been the gold standard since 1960 something. Richard Nixon took it off because it was causing inflation throughout the entire world, and so like it was just like
the guy who got kicked out.
Yeah, he took it off.
He made great decisions.
It's kind of interesting because it had to happen. Because basically, like for a long time, people didn't believe that money was money. There had to be something you could cash your money in for. No pun intended. Like if you went to a bank and you just threw all your money at the bank, they would give you that much in gold. Was like the idea, but like that has a thing where it's like, well, if all the gold's gone, what's this money used for then? So it kind of like helps stabilize the economy in a certain way, but it also sucks. But yeah, that's it.
That is your genuine fact of the day. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Yeah.
Goodbye.